Welcome to Issues, and I'm your host, Richard Smith. This evening we will be talking to three entrepreneurs. We have two young ladies with us here, and in the second half we're going to talk to a very talented gentleman. I looked up the definition for entrepreneurs, and it said, at least one of the definitions, a person who organizes and manages any enterprise, especially a business, usually with considerable initiative and risk. Capital R-I-S-K, risk, which is scary to some people. And as we know, many new businesses, they really don't succeed. But let's find out what's happening with these two young ladies. We have Joelle Williams and Tanaeya Birch. Joan, my first question, share with us the name and the type of business you have.
My business is Seasons Learning Center. It is a nursery preschool for ages 2 to 5.
How long have you been in business?
This is our 7th year in business.
7th year. I happen to know these two lovely young ladies, and Joel and I, we were talking, and she said, when she said 7 years, it seemed like it was just yesterday that she started her business. Tanaeya,
yes.
What's the name of your business, and how long have you been in business?
I own and operate In Touch Therapy, and we've been in business just over a year.
Just over a year.
Yes.
And has this been a long year or a short year?
A very short year. I couldn't believe it. It really sprung up on us, and we were like, oh, we should be celebrating our first year anniversary, and we could have missed it easily because I was in disbelief that it was actually a whole year had passed.
Did you recognize the risk that is involved in going into or starting a business?
Oh yes, definitely, and my husband noticed it even more. And I had to do a lot of convincing, but he is definitely on board. But it was a definite step outside of the box to go from the security of a huge establishment, you know, where you have your benefits and your salary that's determined and it's going to come every month, to go in and start your own business, to say whether somebody's actually going to come and see you and support you, and that's how you get paid.
Now, Joe, I saw you nodding your head in agreement. So how scary was it?
Well, I went from Bermuda government, where I was making a healthy salary, to at even times, I don't know if you're experienced, no paycheck. So, yeah.
Well, ladies, why? You said no paycheck. You said you had to convince your husband.
Yeah.
Joe, why?
Love.
Love.
That's all I can say. The love. You can only step out, well, for me, to work with children. It has to be love, or you will not survive.
Okay.
For the love.
Tanaeya.
It was definitely a risk, but you do it because you have to fulfill that passion that you have inside. I grew up in a family that pushed entrepreneurship. My father owning his own business, it was kind of bred in me that's what you can do it, you know? So it was something that I had growing up. So I always knew that I wanted to start my own business.
Did you do any research?
Yes, I did a lot of research, and having worked at the hospital for 7.5 years prior to going out on my own, I worked in all of the areas of physical therapy, and I started the lymphedema clinic there. So I knew that there was a need for it before going out.
Yeah. Joe, what kind of research did you do?
I didn't do much. I basically was in the trenches working for government. So from there, I'm a mover and a shaker. And when you're boxed in and you have a certain way, they say you have to do it this way. And when you don't fit into that box, and you know that there are a lot of children that have the special needs in terms of drama and the arts, and bringing it into the classroom and making your school come alive or your class come alive. I was hands-on and said, look, I got to make it happen.
Now, Tanaeya had the educational background. Did you have early childhood training? Did you major in early childhood training?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
I was at Oakwood College. I did Human Development and Family Studies. Basically, that's the study from birth to old age. And at Alabama A&M, I did got my master's in early childhood education.
Okay. So, but both of you had the educational background. Now, in terms of financing, did your parents or you have a bundle of cash in the bank and say, hey, or financing? Joel, how did you do your financing?
Well, through the government. At the end of my term there, I basically got all my money out of the government and used that to start the business.
Okay.
So it wasn't my parents or any big, cash.
Did you have to go to a bank or?
No, I just, when I left, they give you 7 years, I believe, before you can get your money back out of superannuation. So that's what I did. And I took that money and I invested it into the business.
That's impressive. So no loans for you, not even a significant amount of money from parents. This is Joel Williams. Wow.
Maybe a half a loan. A half a loan.
Tanaeya.
We have a slightly different story. We did have to secure financing to start the business, and we were right in the middle of this economic climate. Yeah. And the bank, it was actually harder than I thought to secure financing. You're thinking, we have good jobs and we own a home, we should be able to do this easily. And you get there and that is not the case.
Yes.
And I think it was the economic climate that we were in. The bank was definitely trying to be as conservative as they possibly could with their lending and taking the least amount of risk that they possibly could. So we actually had to secure the entire loan 100%. So
now that seems unusual for them to loan you 100% of the financing.
Yep, and then having to secure all of that is another story. But we did have some assistance securing the loan, but it was definitely harder than I thought. But we did get it done. A lot of prayer and persistence.
Very good. Now, what type of success have you been experiencing, hopefully success that you've been experiencing this first year?
This first year has been amazing. I could not have imagined that we would be doing as well as we are. I mean, we're always accepting new referrals of patients, but it was definitely a little bit easier than I actually thought it was going to be. I was ready to hit the ground, and you have to do a lot of hard work, but it was definitely the support of doctors and that I had made communication with while I was at the hospital and developed relationship with, actually referred their patients to me. And the success, I measure it by the patient. You don't go into healthcare to make a whole lot of money. It's just not the profession. You have to be a special type of person to go into healthcare. And I measure my success by my patients. If they're feeling better and they're getting what they need out of it, and I'm providing the best standard of care and evidence-based practice that I can, then that's my success.
Can you apply to the insurance at the end of your client's insurance? Do they pay you their 80% or whatever percent?
Yes, we are connected with all the local insurance companies.
Was that difficult to convince the insurance to trust you, or that you had all the necessary credentials? Was that part of it difficult?
For some of our services, I have a specialty in lymphedema, and that was a new service that was starting to be provided.
Just explain what lymphedema is, please.
Lymphedema is a protein-rich swelling that patients can get, most commonly known after breast cancer, but you don't actually have to have cancer to get lymphedema. It develops in the legs, it can develop in the arm, the abdomen, the face and neck, and it's just a protein-rich swelling that accumulates because your lymphatic system has slowed down, whether it's because you were born with a lymphatic system that just doesn't have as much vessels, or you've actually had some type of trauma to the system where the lymph nodes have been removed or there's been damage to the vessels themselves.
Okay. What kind of success? Because you've been in business 7 years.
Yes.
So what kind of success have you been having?
Well, I started off with 2 boys in Southampton in a studio apartment. And now I'm currently in a building approximately 3,000 square feet with 60 students.
Wow.
And over the last, I say 5 years, we've had almost 100% of our preschoolers leaving reading and writing either on grade level or on the grade 1 grade.
Yeah. Now, I can testify to that because I've seen some of the young people that attend her school reading, and I am just amazed. So she is definitely correct. And if my grandchildren lived in Bermuda, they would be going to Seasons Learning Center. Continue with the success that you say you're having.
We do 2 productions a year. And the boys and girls, I know last June we did Romeo and Juliet on stage. So they have their English accents. They have to be drama. And they had to give it to me drama. So that was, I feel, and I'm sure my teachers would agree, that was one of our best productions in terms of content.
Yeah.
The kids changed. Actually had her daughter there.
Yes, I entrust my 2 children to Joelle. She did an excellent job with them.
She was one, and she was very dramatic, and she continues at Bermuda Institute, where I always get a lot of feedback. Your girls that you have given us, they're well-rounded. So wherever our kids go, they're known in the system.
Now, you mentioned teachers. So how many do you employ?
It's 7,
Wow.
possibly 8.
Wow.
As of this week, altogether.
Now, you say you have 60 students. How many can you accommodate?
60.
60. Wow. So you have a waiting list then?
Yes.
Wow.
So we just moved in October, and now I'm like, okay, we need a bigger space. So it's fast growing.
Yeah.
And not until, I'll say, 2 years ago, I had to advertise in the phone book.
Yeah.
I haven't been in the phone book.
Wow.
And it was just word of mouth.
Wow. Now, ladies, while you may be the upfront person, behind the scenes, you obviously need somebody that take care of your books, somebody that pays the pension and so forth. Or do you do that, or do you hire a company to do that? So who takes care of the finances in the background? Joelle and Tanaeya.
I wish I could say I hire a company. I have 2 really good friends from church, and they have helped me in terms of pulling a lot of the finances together. It's something I hate to do, hate with a capital H. But I have been blessed. God has given me people at church that kind of help provide.
They take care of your books?
Yeah, semi.
Yeah.
Like, not completely, but they do my salaries, and they give me statements. So.
Tanaeya.
I have one of the world's best husbands,
Oh.
and he takes care of my books for me.
That is his area of expertise, isn't it?
Yes, and my father-in-law and my brother-in-law. But he gets a lot of help, but he does a lot of it, and no, all of it he does. I leave him up at night doing my back office, and I appreciate it very much.
So while you may run the business, he actually pays you.
Exactly, he does pay me. He is my new boss.
Ladies, thank you so much. We have been talking with 2 delightful entrepreneurs, young black Bermudian entrepreneurs that are running their own business and successfully also. So we thank you for being with us. We will be right back with our male entrepreneur. Welcome back to Issues. This week we've been talking with entrepreneurs. We spoke with 2 young ladies in our first half. Now we're going to talk with this gentleman here who is also an entrepreneur. But before we get to him, I'd like to remind you to check out our website, issuesbda.com. Again, that's issuesbda.com. You'll find it quite exciting and quite interesting. Nathan.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We have with us Nathan Ming. What is your business, Nathan?
Well, my old one is Ming Electric, and my new one is iRepair.pm, where we service smartphones and tablets, and eventually I'm looking for anything with a motherboard.
Smartphones and tablets.
Yeah.
Well, this is the age of smartphones. Just about everybody has a smartphone.
Yes.
Now, what made you decide to go into this business?
Necessity.
Necessity.
Plus, I didn't have a clue what else can do. Because when it cuts, like when you see the recession start hitting you, and you're wondering where jobs are just getting less and less and less things to do, it just you just have to be in a good home. You have no other choice. But I mean, I've had other businesses that I'm tried and stuff, and doing electrical and things. Just a lot of times things didn't work out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for this particular business, I got to a point where I ain't doing it. Not doing it. Why? Because I wouldn't call it failed. Then let's be right. I seem like I haven't progressed how I'm thinking I should go for the other ones. So when it got to this one, I'm like, no, I ain't doing it. I ain't got the unction to believe that I can. You know what I'm saying? So I was literally relying on others who were like, you know what? Nathan, you could do this. I can't do this. Nathan, I see it.
So you were resisting going.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Because it's been so many times where I'm tried something and it not work out, and try something and not work out. So you got to a point where it's like, you know what? I ain't trying no more. I am not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
So what were you going to do?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just did not know. Yeah. All I knew is after doing electrical for 20-something years, because I only wanted to be in it for 5, and then switch up and do something else. But you get caught into the work or into trying to make some money, and then the years just go by. But even though doing with 25 years, I always tried to do something else and try to do something else. But for some strange reason, I just couldn't get out of electrical, just all-consuming. I tried so much stuff. I'm not even going to embarrass myself by saying I tried so many different things that it just, just didn't go. So it's like, well, why am I going through this stuff for?
So Nathan, you were kicking and struggling not to go into this business. What was it that sold you, that said, this is what I need to do? When Mark Matthews, who is computer scientist, ran away, I said, you know what, Nathan, you can do this. I see it. I believe it. You know what I'm saying? Then, because I tell him, look, man, I ain't got the faith in me right now to believe that this thing's going to work because of so many failures that I saw it as. You know what I'm saying? So after doing that, you know what I'm saying, and thinking, say, Lord, look, I tell you what, if you're going to hook it up in such a way where you're going to be there for me, you know what I'm saying, and set things up for me so that this thing can be done, then I'll get ahead and do it. The first day I went over there on Court Street, ran inside the place, and the place was an oil place and stuff. Milk was in certain places, and the place had to be gutted out completely and fixed. But see, during me doing electrical, especially after 2008 coming up, you kind of had to multitask. Had to learn a little masonry, a little plumbing, a little this, a little that. So during there's 3 or 4 years of multitasking and doing other stuff, I was able to go in there and lick just pretty much everything out. You know what I'm saying? So from doing straight 20 years of just electrical to after a while plastering, plumbing, carpentry, just pretty much every trade that I was able to go in there. But what I noticed was the first day I went in there, I'm gappers on Court Street. Say, hey, bro, so what, you want a hand? Because I had just prayed, say, wow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he came there and helped me to knock down stuff. And then my ex-boy called me, look, man, my son needs something to do. Can you use him? I'm like, this is the very next day. I'm like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So for 4 months, my godson came up there, and every single day, you know what I'm saying, we guys knocked this place out and got it done. I have a debt gratitude to your boy for real. Wow. Kyle Deal, yachty guy. You know what I'm saying? So and then on top of that, my bra, you know what I'm saying, and family members, but even more so than that deal was my wife. She was already busy doing stuff, but she was there hammering and
not so much. But when I needed materials and stuff like that, she was there. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't have not done it without her at all.
But before we get to the store, I know that you made some trips to learn the business.
Yeah. Well, I went to the States twice, went England once, went Philippines once, and last place was India. I found out that there is a lot of snake oil salesmen in this business. The places in the States were snake oil. The one I went to, the Philippines, was snake oil.
Meaning?
Which means that they said one thing and they promise we'll promise you, will you teach me this? I need to know why I fit a BlackBerry. I teach you. But went over there and apparently I went to the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? Because apparently there were schools over there, but for the time short frame that I went over there in Philippines for 3 weeks, it wasn't enough, right? You know what I'm saying? But they had to find out later on that he wasn't the best person to teach. I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? So, but the blessing in that came, the technician I have right now actually was surfing the web and found a picture of me shaking the guy's hand, and it's like the best blessing I'm had. Like on top of that was my Indian. I'm not even sure how we first connected because I was trying to find out problems and how to do all this type of stuff. Somehow I got to connect with him, and then when I said, "Man, how you learn this stuff?" He said, "Oh, I teach it. This is school I went to." So I clicked on the website. I said, "I saw this school 2 years ago," but in India it's like hundreds of schools that you can go to. But I ended up going to the cream of the crop and did not know.
So now your business, you fix cell phones, you fix tablets. Is that what you do?
Yes, sir.
Do you also sell them?
Recondition ones. As soon as I'm able to, get some money, then enough to say, okay, cool, I'll go and invest and get more tablets and phones and stuff that I'll get and do it. But again, because of previous investments where you just lost money left, right, and center, and have nothing to work with. And right now it's like hand to mouth, like that's just how it is. And it's been like that for such a long time. I members get used to it, used to have nothing. But it's still difficult because like that's money going. It's just get to a point where as a man, like you want to be able to do those things to provide your house, and it's so difficult to do it, like especially in these times. You know what I'm saying, where you might have a guy that that's a construction worker, and or a blue collar worker. And his wife might have a particular job where she's able to work in office buildings and make more money than the husband. So it makes it a bit difficult, especially the man's ego, to be able to not be able to do that type of, like not be able to be there when he feels that he should.
Right. Now, how long has your store been open?
Since July the 16th last year.
July the 16th?
2012.
Okay, so this coming July, it'll be...
Yeah, it'll be 1 year.
Very good. Now, I hear... I don't know. Has it been a struggle this year? I'm not sure.
It's been a struggle every single day, without fail. Every single day, struggle. But the blessings are, you come to my shop like it's like a buzz of people. Either a buzz of people that's there, we got folks from Cedar Bridge, some of the friends just show up, family members, some of the, just show up and just hang around for the day and ask for friends or take, customers' orders and stuff like that. It's a bit difficult to manage, but the good part about it is it's almost become a hub. It was like a barbershop mentality where you got folks to come up and show up and stuff. That's actually there on Court Street. And the amazing part about that I found out about Court Street is, because the perception is, don't go there, they're selling drugs and stuff like that here. But it's more, I'm been shocked to find out how much of a family Court Street is. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about from the guys sitting on the street to, the guys, running stuff, to the women that are, doing a thing, like, you know what I'm saying? To the shopkeepers, to it's a lot of support there. And from the neighbors, there's a real lot of support there. I was shocked.
Okay. Now, iRepair.bm, that is your website.
Yeah,
okay.
www.
Now, how did you come up with IRE? I-R-E. How did you come up with it?
I for iPhone, you know what I'm saying? And repair was, I never wanted to be able, because of how technology is, I don't want to be stuck on whatever's current. You want to be able to have the ability, at least in my mind, to go deep enough to be able to fix anything with a motherboard. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, because, a few years ago, the smartphone wasn't out. You know what I'm saying? Where now you can talk on it, you can text on it, you can take video, you can take camera. It's blurring other businesses like Kodak and Fuji, like the Fuji, you know, they like where some industries just aren't needed because one device has now got everything inside of it.
Yes,
So because of that, and everybody's lives are tied into it, then it makes a great difference because the smartphone has made me dumb. I think it's made a lot of folks dumb because now I ain't got to remember numbers no more.
That's
Just got to
true.
remember a name or get close to it, find it in the address book, and boom, fine. But if that bad boy gets in trouble, where somebody dropped it or they lost it or the stress is unbelievable. And I know it because it's happened to me so many times. Like, so folks come in there they're like, oh my gosh, my friend saved me. Folks are like women, like, you know what I'm saying, like, oh my gosh, my friend, this and that and that. Folks are really like tied up into it, like, and I prayed about that. So you know what, Lord, I want to be able to get into a business that is always in need, it's always in demand, that we're not anybody can just get into, and I wanted to get into such a depth that I'm right down to the inductors and the coils and the stuff and be able to know how to do those type of things right on the board. That's the type of stuff I wanted, not just to be able to swap stuff.
Let me ask a question I asked earlier to the young ladies. Did you do any research in terms of supply and demand?
Well, my thought was when somebody suggested it was like, well, don't people just throw these things away and just got another one? But what happened was, as the economy gets worse and folks have less money, then they need to be able to try to save what they have as opposed to just go ahead and get another contract and buy another one because folks are just getting locked into contracts. And at the end of the day, folks want to be free. So my job is to free them.
Oh,
Simple as that.
very good. Now, financing, and we're coming to the end of this section. Financing, did you finance it out of your pocket? Did you have to, how did you finance it?
The Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Yes?
Okay. Wifey.
Oh my goodness.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like that. So every little bit, that was her. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? That's why, I can't do this here with all of it. It's like that.
Yeah, okay.
Just can't.
So you didn't go to a bank, you didn't go to the small business that we have.
I know small business has hollered at me and they said there's so many things that I should have done. But I found out, when you're trying to run your own business, you're in a vortex of so much things to do. So you get caught up in everything. So you can't really focus on one thing sometimes, which makes it really difficult. Case in point was, I had the guy that told me about the course in India. I actually had him, it was on the way coming. He came last week Tuesday. But what happened was I didn't realize he needed a Bermuda entry visa. It was on the paper, apparently, but I didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? So we went through everything. We went through the transit visa from like in the United States because it's cheaper to fly through there.
Yes.
I learned so much stuff in this process. We went through tickets and stuff, but just come
We
to
have
find
about
out.
15 seconds.
All right, cool. So they sent him back, which was really stressful. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, there's no way you could. So right now it's like, how do you afford to get another ticket and more stuff? But God doesn't have to bless somehow.
Yeah. We've been talking with Nathan Ming. He has a iPhone or smartphone and iPad repair store. And so far, as he indicated, it's kind of been a struggle, but it's coming along. And he mentioned God, and I'm sure God will bless him in his struggles. But we've spoken with 3 entrepreneurs, individuals who have taken on the task of building a business, trying to make ends meet for themselves and for their families, and for all of Bermuda. So I hope that those of you watching will support these young individuals. And don't forget to go to our website, that's Issues BDA, and Issues will see you next week. Have a good evening.